Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. Apa khabar semua? Hope you guys are doing fine. Today we are having a three-man pod of which we're going to discuss the preparation of Game Week 1 for the new season 2023-24. My name is Hafiz, and with me first of all, I'd like to welcome Azmin to the stream. Looks like you're
Hello.
wearing Arsenal shirt.
Yes, that's right. It's a symbolism of how my team
I
is currently.
see.
There's a bit of echo somewhere, I think. Can we check?
Is it mine?
Testing. The echo. Okay, that did. Okay,
Okay,
all right.
continue. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a reflection of how my team has evolved. So and then no. It doesn't show by reflections. I'm still a Liverpool fan. So it's just FPL, purely FPL.
All right, that could be an indication how your team will looks like. But would like also to welcome Afos to the stream. Welcome back. It's been a while since your team Game Week 1 draft video.
Yep. Glad to be back. Excited to be in the show, streaming for the new season, FPL.
All right, okay. So, Azmin, is everything okay? I think.
Yeah, everything okay now.
All right. So as we did mention, okay, Game Week 1 is really around the corner. If let's say today is Wednesday, Friday will be the first kickoff, and we definitely want to prepare ourselves in terms of our draft. I'm not sure, but the rest maybe at least we hope that 70%, 80% of our team are ready, but we shall see how the team will be. So let's take a look at the talking point for this stream, of which the first one, we definitely want to have a look at the Community Shield match, what kind of lineup there has been for Arsenal and Man City team, okay, of which we know on the right side, Arsenal did win that match and their first so-called cup for this season. Then we take a look at the pre-season friendlies, at least the top 6 club, of which how they perform, who are actually on form, who are performing, who actually secured a lot of minutes in terms of friendly matches. Number 3, we'll take a look also at the players' ownership of each respective department in terms of goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and forwards, who has the high ownership, and is this an indication that people should jump in? Number 4 is definitely Game Week 1 fixture, the opening weekend. Our Captain P, I'm not sure whether this title is still relevant, because if let's say people are going for that one player with 14 million price tag and slap on armband to him for the rest of the season, could be the right thing that we're going to do. And what is our team draft so far? Okay, so I think let's jump straight to the competition. But before that, maybe I should give a shout out to whoever here in the chat, which we have Rakan FPL here, we have Brandon Ong joining this session. Yep, I think the question keep coming. Hopefully we can continue and mention your question whenever they be touched on the topics. So I think let's jump straight our first topic, of which the Community Shield match held on last Sunday. It turns out, there's a typo there. The match actually end up 1-1, okay, of which Trossard and Palmer actually in the scoreline, okay, but Arsenal actually wins in terms of penalty, okay, 4-1 after the end of the 90 minutes, so call, or can I say 90 minutes, or actually 100 minutes and more, okay, to be fair on this match. So Palmer actually scored first from Man City side, assist by KDB, and then Trossard scored at the last minute with Saka assist and deflection from Akanji, and then Arsenal won 4-1 on penalties. But so lineup, maybe I just read out what is the obvious from both team. Arsenal especially, I think this much indication that still the same lineup from last season, but it features 3 new signing, okay, from the summer. First of all, Julian Timber playing at the left back, okay. I think Zichoko is not in the squad, but Tierney coming off of the from this bench, okay, in the second half, but Timber did start this game. and then we had Declan Rice patrolling in front of the defenders. Okay, he partners in top with Thomas Partey, but with the absence of Jesus, Kai Havertz so-called playing the false nine role, he actually lead the attacking lineup. Okay, that's the obvious one from Arsenal. From Man City, I don't know about the goalkeeper part. Okay, Ortega starts from over Edison, but I think in terms of cup competition, to be fair, Pep always feel Ortega in terms of this kind of competition. So I think nothing to take on in terms of whether Edison is it's not an option. Is going to continue in goal. We expect it, but for competition, I think Ortega did play this game. Other than that, we have the new signing Mateo Kovacic inside there, but the obvious one, KDB did not start. If I'm not mistaken, during preseason also he does not have any minutes, but he actually come out from the bench in the second half. Clearly, there Alvarez starts, and then the other one that people always talk about, Foden, who actually did not feature in the first team lineup. So I go to Azmin first. Maybe you can summarize in terms of this lineup, Arsenal, Man City. What a takeaway from here?
I guess one thing with this match is that it was clear based on the game that both teams were working hard to win, to set it up, for the rest of the season. But at the same time, FPL wise, it's hard to feel that this is because at the end of the day, Arsenal and Manchester City are not going to be playing each other every week or even every other week. Having said that, there are some highlights that we saw. The thing is, the best news for Arsenal is the return of Saliba to partner Gabriel. We saw how much better the two were when they were playing together. It's just that Saliba got injured to the last third of the season, and it was, you could see Arsenal's defense had a bit of a problem there. So Timbers come in, and he's deputized well. So the question is now, is he going to remain in the lineup? I know that Zinchenko should be back, so we're not sure, but it does mean that picking either one might be a challenge. Okay, so moving towards the attacking lineup for Arsenal, it's all about Havertz, isn't it? So is Havertz going to work there, or now that Jesus is injured, or is Trossard? Because Trossard was a January signing, and he did do well when he came on or started. So it might still be up for grabs there. So I wouldn't bank on actually picking Havertz. So yeah, the Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli, those are your more likely options where the attacking is concerned. And in defense, Ben White, I would think, is a great option. We've seen him evolve into a huge attacking fullback, but then Ramsdale also, looking at we will see later in terms of the fixtures that Arsenal definitely have a good starting fixtures. On the City lineup, again, you saw there's no Edison there, so Ortega was allowed to start. But plenty, you got KDB, Phil Foden on the bench, and with City is still a challenge of, is this going to be the first level? Of course not, because I don't see Rodri and Kovacic starting regularly. I think they don't need to do that. It's just that they were playing Arsenal. So, but you saw Alvarez start as well. I did tweet last week or the week before the Community Shield that, is Alvarez going to see a bit more minutes? Because we've seen the potential how he can do well when he's given the time. And he ended up starting with Alvarez together, but then on the face of just this match, then maybe we'll go back to KDB or Foden without Alvarez. Yeah, just because it's well, in the end City lost, didn't they? Even though it went to penalties, but City could have done much better. Just one more thing to add on Stones is. So Stones is starting. Will he start? That's becoming a big question the more as we get closer to the opening match. Something we need to figure out.
Okay, fair. I think I'll go to Afos after you see the match and you see Arsenal and Man City, this lineup. What do you think? Are you more comfortable now understanding what Arsenal players that we should pick? How about Man City also, that people are eyeing, like so-called Man City has a really good fixture for the next at least first 6, first 8. Which 3 Man City players that people should eyeing? What do you think, Afos?
Yeah, basically the the favorite ones in the FPL assets, those are the like Gabriel, Saka, and of course the important thing. Okay, let's go to the Arsenal because since Jesus is injured, so we are much more interested who's going to play the upfront, whether it be Martinelli or Havertz or Trossard. But then now that we see that uh, Havertz is the preference in the Community Shield game, so it might be the one be replacing Jesus' spot at the moment. But the rest of the Arsenal FPL assets, I think more or less nil in terms of starting lineup. And then for the City players, we are looking at the favorite ones at the moment, Stones. So we see Stones starting. Haaland, yeah, of course, obviously he's going to start. And then the other one, I think, kind of frustrates a bit of team managers that Foden does not start. I think most people are expecting Foden to start at least, but when the first lineups comes, then we'll see that Foden did not start. So I think just upsets quite a number of people.
You did mention that Foden did not start. By is this an indication since Foden did not start, people should worry that maybe now people are a bit afraid to actually pick Foden into the Gameweek 1 team?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because at least during Community Shield, if Foden starts, maybe give some sort of confidence
Okay.
that for at least Foden will be the favorite to start at least. But now that we're seeing that he's not starting in Community Shield, so yeah, it's still City under Pep. The lineup still up to him. So
Okay.
but then we'll see how the season goes in terms of City lineup.
Okay.
The rest I think pretty much straightforward.
Okay. All right. I go to you. Man City lineup. Other than Haaland, with this kind of lineup, say, what do you think? Which are the assets that we feel that we are confident enough? Let's say we want to pick into our team Gameweek 1.
Edison. it's insane, but because once again we're back to the same problem. I mean, in the build up towards as after the FPL game was launched, Stones was like on automatic inclusion. He was playing in the advanced midfield, defensive midfield. So of course, and we know that he has potential for goal scoring as well with good headers. Yeah, but then suddenly in this match, he's back to his traditional centre back position. One problem, and then the other thing is that you've got a new acquisition, Vardiol, if you remember him from the World Cup. And he also was a standout player who can also score goals as well. So what happens then? Maybe would you see Stone start the first couple of matches and then Vardiol starts coming in? I don't know. We don't know. Yeah, but again, Vardiol wasn't cheap, but again, this is Manchester City. It can be bought and then end up dumped onto the bench. So my point is, it's hard. And anyway, back to your question. I wouldn't even pick Grealish, and I don't see Grealish in many lineups either. Why not? Considering how strong he was at the end of last season. But
so means that with this scenario or situation in terms of lineup, you feel people should consider Grealish more than Foden now, is it?
No, I think you should just not worry too much about City assets, because at this stage, I feel that you want clear starters who you are confident of starting.
Yeah.
The moment Haaland is it, I can't see anyone else other than if you want to invest a bit more in a keeper, which is Edison. Although Edison didn't start here, I'm pretty sure he's still the first choice keeper. Yeah, and the other option is of course KDB, assuming he's fully fit. But we don't have that much funds to play around with to KDB. So yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay, since KDB, can I say, fitness or so called is still uncertain. Alvarez actually starting. He might actually start the first game of the season. Of course, what do you think, Alvarez? could he be an option this early season for Man City if people eyeing after Haaland? Who else in Man City side in terms of attacking? What do you think? Alvarez prospect.
I don't know, unless Haaland is injured, then only I would consider Alvarez. No, otherwise I don't see I'm going to have two attacking cities up front, for especially in the forward. Maybe one in the midfield, maybe like Grealish or Foden. If I were to take that race in terms of minutes, especially managed by
How about Bernardo Silva? I don't know. It's like that spot after Mahrez, Bernardo Silva is there. Maybe Pep wants to convince Bernardo Silva to stay and give him more time. Looks like he might sign this new contract. Is he an option?
Yeah, I think could be, but at the moment still until he signs a new contract, or maybe we'll see a couple of games first. Then we'll
Okay.
see who is most likely to start.
It's a bit insane because we've seen Gundogan leave and Mahrez leave, and at the same time, Silva, who's been rumored to have been leaving for the past 3 seasons now, there he is. He's still here. So it's interesting, but it makes it hard. It does make it hard.
All right. Okay, fair. I think we actually conclude this before we wrap up this first topic in terms of Sony. If let's say Arsenal top 3 players, I go to Afos first. Who the top 3 Arsenal player we should be? I have consider, say, ranking 1, 2, 3 from your perspective.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
Arsenal. I think the first pick would be Saka. I
Okay.
think he's still on penalty duties.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one, Gabriel.
Okay.
Gabriel.
The third one.
The third one, maybe Martinelli. I think so.
Okay.
Considering his performance last season, I think it's a close one between Martinelli and Odegaard. It's just a matter of who is your preference, budget,
Okay.
and also attacking points wise.
Right. Azmin, how about you? Are you the same pick with Afos?
No, well, I got to go for the 3 players who are in my squad
Okay.
at the moment. And first pick is Saka, yes, and Martinelli, I think he will continue to push on from last season and will be great.
That is the second pick. Okay.
And the third one is Ben White. Just feel that
And
yeah,
why?
the of course the problem is he's no longer as cheap as he used to be, but at the
Yep.
same time the potential for his attacking role, he's so much more attacking than he used to be. He's pretty much transformed. Arteta has pretty much transformed his game, and even at 5.5, not cheap, but the potential for attacking returns is there. And then when you take into account in terms of the clean sheet opportunity with Declan Rice in, who I think is a massive signing for Arsenal, and I think there'll be plenty of options there for plenty of points, plenty for that defense.
Last but not least, I also want to touch in terms of Man City player. If they say want to
Sure.
pick
Go ahead.
top 3, of course, who would you go in terms of ranking after Haaland?
Haaland, I think Haaland, Stones,
Stones, yeah.
maybe Edison.
Okay. All right. How about you, Min? You did mention Haaland number 1, Edison number 2, is it?
Yeah, as in secure picks, because right now I guess mentally I'm trying to go back to a previous principle of mine is go for those that were clear will start. And at the moment I would say it's Edison, Haaland, Edison, and once he's fit it'll be KDB, but probably not the first week.
All right. Okay. I think we wrap up on that topic. We go to the next one, of which we want to touch a bit in terms of preseason friendlies. Okay, the result, the form. At least we touch a bit whether this can be taken into consideration when we picking our Gameweek 1 team. We already touched Man City and Arsenal feature or the lineup just now, but I just touch a bit in terms of Man City. They are only having 4 matches, okay, during this preseason. This is actually inclusive of the Community Shield match, okay. If not, it's only 3 matches. So from there, we can see Haaland can be the most performing during that time because he's got 2 goals. He has 208 minutes. Second is Alvarez with 1 goal, 2 assists. If you want to consider Alvarez, is also second in terms of form. He has more minutes than Haaland for sure, 270 minutes. And then the last one is Laporte with 1 goal, 1 assist, but he might not be into our consideration considering he also not featuring in the first lineup. Okay. In terms of Arsenal, you'll be surprised. Trossard is so-called the most formed players. Okay, even though in terms of minutes, comparing to Saka and Havertz is slightly lower. Okay, but he actually scored 4 goals, and this is actually inclusive the Community Shield match. Okay, that's for Arsenal. For Man United, okay, Afos, you're here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually took this statistic from Fantasy Football Squad preseason guide. Okay, page of which we can see there the most performing is Anthony. Okay, 2 goals and 1 assist. 252 minutes he locked it during preseason, quite high to consider others. Second debate, not so much into conversation, but in terms of form, he's actually has 1 goal, 2 assists, 80 minutes. Then we have Rashford, 1 goal, 1 assist, so far 225 minutes. Maybe we go for these 3 clubs first before we go to the second one. Azmin, what is there any good things that we can take from here?
I think the main thing point out and which does make you wonder is Trossard. You know, he's definitely stepping up in that role. You know, but at the moment, a lot of people don't even have him in the starting lineup because there's just uncertainty there. But he's definitely capable. So I don't know how we're going to figure that out, and that's why we've gone for the likes of Martinelli and Saka, who we feel are more secure. But again, that performance is Trossard is at the best point there. I think that's the only takeaway from the first top 3 matches, top 3 up there. I guess just one on Manchester United. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but you know, are we going to pick Anthony? Probably not. Yeah, so it still boils to Rashford. So it still boils down to Rashford and Fernandes, right? So
Yeah.
Okay. I go straight to Afos. We comment straight to Manchester United because Man City we already said who top 3 and so on. Arsenal top 3 we already seen lineup. Manchester United played 8 matches during preseason, but there are some like matches who actually played second team and so on. All right, okay. He's in terms of performance, you've seen preseason for Manchester United. What do you think in terms of Manchester preparation? Who actually the players that we should target?
Yeah, I think basically in terms of the preseason game, maybe Ten Hag try to establish what they call playing style. Maybe trying to get players to get chemistry from between one another. I think also part of it we're seeing that Anthony plays lots of minutes. Maybe wanted to have him a bit more exposure in terms, and then what they call get him fit to play as much minutes as possible. Maybe to step up in the event that maybe Rashford cannot score goals or provide attacking for Manchester United. Yeah, I think in terms of preseason games, we're seeing that Trossard, for Arsenal Trossard, and for Manchester United Anthony, basically they're trying to prove themselves maybe as a starting lineup for the first 11.
Okay, all right. Say, you know better Manchester United. What do you think in terms of the front 3 so-called? Okay, Rashford should be there, Anthony should be there. How about the next one? Is it Sancho? Is it Garnacho? What do you think?
I think in terms of starting, most probably Sancho, but I would love to see Garnacho plays a lot, especially starting season. I think he plays well. He attacks and create chances. Very good. I think he deserves a bit more playing time.
Okay, all right, fair. I think we go to the next tier, of which I have Newcastle, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Newcastle, even though there is not a lot of attraction because so-called Newcastle have tougher fixture for the first 6 matches, okay? But I just want to highlight whoever thought that Anderson is the most formed players with 4 goals and 3 assists. He locked up the best minute with 359. I think the first one is actually Matt Target with 360. That is the first player who actually has more minutes in terms of precision for Newcastle. Okay, then we have Almiron there, 3 goals. Okay, 272. We still remember. I think especially for Azmin, who has Almiron in his really good streak last season. So he has better good memory in terms of Almiron in his side rather than me, who actually picked him at the wrong time. And then we have Isaac there with 2 goals and 1 assist. And yeah, we talk about Jesus potentially will be out for a while. And then we have Nkuku also will be declaring out for not weeks. It's reported like months. Yeah, we are finding the second tier or the next best forward striker to partner with Haaland. So Isaac could be come into fray. The next one, Liverpool. Okay, 5 matches during pre-season. I think the latest match actually you can see Jota is actually on top with 4 goals and 3 assists, lock up with 240 minutes. We have the likes of Darwin also, even though there is potentially he might not be the first 11 in the side. We just not sure, but he actually scored goods in terms of precision, 4 goals and 1 assist. But also we don't forget Salah, right? We 7 assists with 2 goals are still among the attacking potential for Liverpool, especially. And for my club, Chelsea, Nkunku is the most formed player, but he won't be in the talking conversation as because he will be out for it. And then maybe Jackson is the second one, the option. But Madsen is the third player with 2 goals and 1 assist. So, Min, what you can share with this?
Oh, it's okay. It's so frustrating with Newcastle because I really want to pick up Newcastle players, but it's hard to tell with the latest precision with the lineups that they have because and Anderson suddenly bursting into fire is also a pleasure, interesting to see because we got the new what's his name, Tonas, as the defensive midfielder, Italian guy, and how does that fare? Will that mean Bruno Guimaraes is going to be pushed out a lot? Bruno hasn't seen as many minutes a lot. There's been a lot of rumored interest from other European clubs. Then you got Almiron. Once again, will he do that thing again that he did? We don't know. But and also the problem of Isaac versus Wilson will always have that problem. And coupled to that with Newcastle's problematic, challenging fixtures at the start. So that's why we kind of like let's hold off there. We can still work elsewhere. Liverpool. Okay, so I don't know how detailed you want me to go into this, but it's gotten to the point where it's very tough to figure this out. Okay, I don't know. The final starting lineup didn't really show any. I didn't really form any real conclusions. We also saw the Bayern Munich one where Darwin didn't start. But Jota did, so it's really, really hard. But if you look at the total goals and assuming no bonus points, the outcome there, Salah is still the top there. If once you factor in all the assists and the additional point from goals, FPL point wise, he still wins in that battle. So we'll look into that a bit more, but I'm not confident with any of the starting lineups. I'd like to employ aside from Salah. So it's a wait and see for me for Liverpool. Chelsea.
But do you feel that the front three will be Salah, Gakpo, and Jota? Is it?
I think that's
Most likely like that. Is it?
It could be Salah, Jota, and Diaz. Yeah, so it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. Okay. My biggest worry is that Klopp might turn to a horses for courses policy, and that's gonna really hurt because he has the options now. Chelsea, with Nkunku out, it really does make Jackson a nice option, but is he going to be a regular starting? I don't know. There's some other Chukwu Kwemba who might play as a number 10 for Chelsea now. So again, it's too doubtful for me. And if Unko returns, does Jackson ultimately go back to the bench? So something they need to plan for if that's the case. I don't know. I really have no clue with Chelsea at the moment.
Okay. Afos, do you want to add in anything in terms of Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, anyone that interests you from these clubs?
I think like Azmin mentioned just now, for Newcastle, just because their early fixtures is not as good on paper, maybe I think that's why most people opt out picking Almiron. So with most people picking either Mbemo or Mitoma. I think Almiron, once the fixtures is all okay, and we'll see that Newcastle playing better, or maybe similarly to like last season, maybe Almiron to be in the picture somewhere along the run. In terms of Liverpool, other than Salah, I think it's a tough one to pick, because maybe Klopp still experimenting to who. I mean, like has been mentioned before, he has options now. So, other than Salah, pretty hard to see who's going to start in each position, because we have Jota, we have Darwin, Luis Diaz, Gakpo. Yeah, in terms of FPL set, I think it's a tough pick other than Salah for attacking. And then Chelsea, I'll leave it to you, Hafiz.
I want to hear that. Come on.
Yeah, if you ask me, as much I want to bias and I get Chelsea play into my team, logically we still unsure of how Pochettino will line up his side, right? So I think at least, I don't know whether I'm going to pick any Chelsea player. If let's say I pick maybe one, the most maybe. Okay, but the thing is, to be fair, we still want to see how Chelsea line up. Without Nkunku now, the theory mentioned that without Nkunku, maybe the flow might not be as smooth as what we are doing in the preseason, who are going to be replacing Nkunku in so-called number 10. So if let's say Jackson starts, who will be behind there? Is it, I don't know, I don't think Modric will be playing behind Jackson. It could be someone like whoever playing in the preseason, like Chuma Wee or Mike Sen, the young kids, but still unproven, right? And the first game is against Liverpool. And Liverpool, to be frank, in a better position because they are building something from last season. They have better players instead of Chelsea, who still have some young kids players who still unproven. So I feel is, as much I want to suggest any, maybe Jackson is the clear so-called in terms of minutes up front, but what I suggest to anyone, am I going to pick him? I think maybe Chilwell come first before him. That's my thinking. Okay, I think we conclude about friendly, right? And unless you guys want to add in which team that we are not stating here, maybe Brighton, Spurs, I don't know if you want to touch a bit. I don't have any stats here.
Well, I guess we can touch on quickly on Brighton and Joao Pedro's form as he's pushing up, and at 5.5 it seems like great. Of course, a lot of questions around as to, is he just a penalty merchant? There's quite a lot of that without penalties he doesn't do much. So but Brighton's another tough one because they added to the squad, and they seem to have so many players that you can pick now. So, and even Evan Ferguson hasn't started a lot, even though I actually thought that he would be the front runner for the starting. So, it's really tough to figure that out.
Yeah. Talking about that, I just see in terms of minutes, I think the most minutes during preseason is actually Pascal Gross, then Veltman, Mitoma, and then João Pedro there. After that, you're talking about Ferguson. I'm not sure where is he. It's really down there. So I think Welbeck and Pedro should be the one that maybe will be featuring lah in terms of minutes during preseason. Okay, I think we can move to the next one, which is interesting after talking about this all friendlies matchup. How our managers are picking these players in terms of ownership. Let's go jump into this. Talk about goalkeeper department first. Okay, no surprise, 4 billion bracket Ariola is in everyone's team, like the highest, most in terms of ownership, 30% of it. But we all know Ariola is actually more as a bench player instead of starting. The real one is actually Onana, the highest ownership up to now, 25% believe that he should be the number one into as our goalkeeper in Game Week 1 draft. The second one, Ramsdale at 5 million also, still popular at 20%. Can still match up with Onana. Maybe Arsenal fans feels Ramsdale. We have Manchester United fan also inside this FPL. They're picking Onana, but Onana is more favorable to players. And in terms of actually new signing, right? Onana is the new signing for this season. Okay. Then we have like Edison. Still people are picking him at 40%. Then the next one is Pickford, 12%. In terms of defenders, Estepina is the most high ownership, 52%. Maybe because of his prime familiar, and on top of that, with Brighton fixture, right? Okay. But would you be surprised? Trippier is actually second in terms of ownership of defender, 34%, despite we saying Newcastle have tough fixture. So is that an indication that actually people are still favoring Trippier into our squad? After that, Stones could be the number 3 in terms of defender. And then Gabriel, which you already touched, that's the among top defender in terms of Arsenal. And then we have Shaw that in 5th place. Actually, TA is actually sitting at 5th place before I coming into the stream, and I saw Shaw actually slightly higher now for defender. Okay. All right. So you can see whether it changed. All right. But we touch this first in terms of defensive side, goalkeeper and defender. I go to Afos first because Onana maybe is someone that you actually eyeing or maybe already have in your team. Onana, what do you think? Is this the right player that we should have set and forget?
Yeah, I think in terms of performance, I think we are much more comfortable in terms of Onana's performance, as well as that he's the number one pick goalkeeper since De Gea is no longer in United. So in terms of having safe and clean sheet, so goalkeeper performance, I think that's why most people opt to go for Onana for this goalkeeper selection. Then I think we go to defenders. Yes, presently Estepinian as the most selected by managers. I think because of his attacking potential, as well as good fixtures starting of the season. I think in terms of what we call combo of between goalkeeper and defenders, I think most people will pick Onana as the goalkeeper, and as well as to pair up the defender from Arsenal, Gabriel. I think unless those who prefer or maybe not so comfortable having Onana in the goalkeeper side, maybe that's why Ramsdale comes in third, and then they opt for Manchester United defenders Luke Shaw instead to pair up. So it's either these two teams, Manchester United and Arsenal, are the one to pair up in terms of defensive FPL teams.
Okay. Right. Azmi, I go to you. What you want to add in?
Firstly, see Edison up there, right? as a safe, probably most likely pick and forget, as a secure city starter. The Onana pick is something I'm still trying to figure out whether I want to go for that route as well. So yeah, and Pickford has been picking up a lot of interest in the past few. We know with Everton and Burnley under Dyke, who's finally had a full season to his name, and I think one of the content creators, FPL Heisenberg, has been bigging him up in terms of Pickford's, just because Dyke, as once he has a good preseason, he can really strengthen that lineup, the defensive lineup of Everton. So definitely someone to watch. In terms of the defender side, yes, the Trippier bit is definitely something. It's just wow. Okay, all right. So they're still confident in his ability for set pieces, regardless of matchup, I guess. So yeah, be one to watch. I don't want to have him on my team though.
All right, fair. I think I like this. Brandon Ong did mention about Aurelia. He mentioned that Aurelia won't be that much in ownership in coming day because Turner is completing his move to Forest, and Turner from Arsenal is at 4 million. And he did mention Turner and Pickford can have a great combination of fixture. What do you think, Afos? This could be the pick that people are eyeing in terms of Turner at least instead of Aurelio.
Yeah, I think so because at the moment I think Areola is not the first pick for West Ham. I think he's still behind Fabianski. But
Okay.
yeah, I think so. But in terms of the pricing point, yeah, I believe most people will opt to go to Matt Turner instead of Areola. I think I will do also the same as well. I think
How much is Matt Turner?
Turner
4.0.
4 million, 4.0.
Okay,
But the thing is, isn't Henderson going to actually come to Forest,
Yeah,
right?
but
And
if-
he could be
if
the number
Henderson
one.
comes
So,
Yeah, if Henderson comes to Forest, then Matt Turner gone case D. Think
okay, but
Henderson
the thing is, that is the dilemma. If by the end of deadline we do not have Henderson news, and we are assuming Turner will be the number one, and then later because the transfer window is still open until the end of the month. So if let's say Henderson come in and we pick Turner, and he won't be an option. So we are in dilemma because we have a deadline coming up. That's what I think. Okay, Azmin, yeah.
you know I love Henderson, right? So
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I just think he's a quality keeper, and if he's not going to get a shot at, and clearly he's not going to get a shot at Manchester United, so he definitely needs to move. So yeah, I'm for it. Yeah, I think that Turner and then followed by Henderson all going to Forest. Forest are still doing the nonsense of accumulating as many players as they can. So
Yeah.
I'll probably stay away myself at the moment.
All right, fair. Okay, we already touched in terms of goalkeeper and defender. We go to the midfielders and forward. In terms of midfielder, whether you surprised or not, Saka has the most ownership, 56% right now, and most likely is in everyone team. In terms of Arsenal asset, he actually same price as Odegaard, 8.5. So-called people mention that he's undervalued comparing to Rashford, but 8.5 million pretty much. Everyone going to have him. He's the penalty taker. He's a talisman for Arsenal. The second one is actually Rashford. Okay, he also can be considered as talisman for Manchester United. Okay, he's actually owned by 45% managers so far. We have Mitoma at third place, 6.5. He's still among the manager conversation, despite maybe now people are moving away from Mitoma because Pedro could be an option, but I'm not sure. He's still the third best pick in terms of midfield. Bruno Fernandes is there. People also mention Manchester United, we should double up, triple up, double up in midfield, and Onana in goalkeeper or Shaw in defender. That is where people are going. And then we still have Salah there, even though the conversation more Salah, no Salah is still there. But yeah, despite that, preseason he still have 7 assists and 2 goals. We did mention that. So that's the top 5 midfielder. In terms of forward, Haaland pretty much owned 86% by managers. I still remember last season, Jesus is the highest ownership, around 80%
Yep.
season.
Yeah,
Uh,
80%.
yes. So now is Haaland turn. Okay. But after Jesus out, Nkunku out, the second best thing is actually Watkins, owned by 23.8%, same price as Jesus, 8 million, right? We have Darwin there, and the third option, 7.5, 16%. We have Isaac, we did touch Newcastle preseason, Isaac is there. And then Jackson coming up because Nkunku is not around. So Azmin, midfielder forwards, what's the potential that you see from these stats?
It's pretty much the thing, because you got Saka, Rashford, Mitoma, Bruno, Salah. Although I'm surprised that Mitoma's ownership is quite high. It's quite a bit higher than I thought it would be. But I guess in that Brighton lineup, Mitoma seems to be very secure. It's the forward two that we're having problems with. Yeah, so Mitoma on the left and our friend, who's the guy's name on the right? Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
Is it much? Is it?
March, yeah, and March on the
Solid
right.
March,
Yeah,
yeah.
Solly March. So yeah, coming back to this, no surprises really. The Salah ownership is an indication that not as many people are going for the Haaland Salah combo. So, but still, plenty enough to make the top four of Salah to make the top five. So now it's a case of figuring out whether it's worth it. Yeah. Coming to the forward side, yeah, no surprises. Haaland, regardless of his preseason, hasn't been fulfilling, or regardless of the Community Shield, as I mentioned in the midweek week. So what, the Community Shield? That's what happened with Haaland last time, and look what happened. Yeah. The only other thing is with that, something that deserves to mention, because there's a lot of stats being bandied about how with Harry Kane, and how between game week 2 to game week 38 he actually scored in total more than Haaland. Again, there's plenty of stats that need to count how many minutes compared to Haaland, so in the end Haaland still wins outright. So as a result, if you want to bring in Kane, it's gonna cost a lot to do that, and we just don't have the funds, do we? Yeah. So the other two, not surprising, but Jackson coming in is already indicated that people are a bit more confident with Chelsea. We're under Pochettino, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Correct. Of course, what else that interests you from these stats?
Yeah, I think pretty much so forth, because we see that people still have confidence in Salah, even though his price tag quite high. Then we have problems into fitting him in the team, especially of those midfield that can contribute a lot of points and have quite, I think quite low price tag. For example, like Saka and Bruno. I think if I'm not mistaken, we're expecting that these two at least to price at 9.0. So at 8.5, and as a penalty taker thing, people should be considering him to have these two in the team, Saka and Bruno Fernandes. In terms of forward, yeah, Haaland pretty much straightforward, and then Watkins comes in because the sole reason I think most managers considering him in the team because of his duty as a penalty taker, and so we know that he can still score goals, and with the new minutes rule,
I think in terms of minutes, Watkins is really pretty much.
90 minute man. Also, maybe
I just want to mention, of course, if they say Jesus and Nkunku around, Watkins will not be in conversation, correct? I think
yeah,
that is
exactly,
why.
because
If not, people are not talking about
his
him.
price tag is only to reserve funds for Jesus and Nkunku later on. When these two fit to play, I think Watkins pretty much straightforward, not to bring in Jesus or Nkunku.
The price
I
point.
think that's
Okay.
pretty much the reason behind it. I think.
Okay. Right. We pretty much already touched in terms of ownership. This is how the demographic right now. Okay. So if you're unsure, I think this is something base that we can look at. All right. Let's jump in. Game week 1 fixture, the opening weekend of the season. The match will start on Friday night, deadline for sure. And the early matchup is actually Burnley versus Man City. Other big match I just want to touch here is actually Chelsea and Liverpool match. Okay, of which Pochettino, the first time he will in charge for Chelsea, and then we have Liverpool there. Other interesting match, I think the favorite match I touch a bit. We expect Arsenal against Forest will be a big scoreline, and it will be favourable to Arsenal. I think that's what people also eyeing like triple up in terms of Arsenal players. The recent news, Wolves, Dr. has actually leave and part company from Wolves. Has been mentioned before the stream, he mentioned me, this mungkin lubuk to get all the points, triple up Manchester United. This could be a bloodbath for Manchester
At
against
the
Wolves.
same time, they Wolves already signed in new manager, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it? I don't know. The rumors is Gary O'Neill is that the yes?
O'Neill.
Okay, all right. But he won't have really much time to prepare his team against Manchester United. So okay. The other match could be also people eyeing in terms of points. It's actually Brighton against the promoter side, Luton Town. Do we expect Brighton is actually really attacking against Luton? This could be another high-scoring game that people are in. So there's no surprise. Maybe Mitoma, Pedro, Esteban. It's logically that people are picking them, at least based on the first game week, right? So I go to Azmin. I'll touch a bit on this fixture. What interests you?
Well, okay, so Arsenal versus Forest, because we mentioned about Manchester United versus Wolves being a bloodbath, for Arsenal versus Forest could very well be the first bloodbath for this season. But of course, bearing in mind that it is the early game match, and but it is the start of the season. Burnley versus Manchester City. Just now we were talking about Burnley and Sean Dyche setting up his team, so this could be very interesting. I'm not sure if it's putting people off Haaland as a captaincy, but I think 80% of us are going for the safe play with Haaland because we know.
Do you mean Vincent Company? Is it at Burnley? Is it?
Pardon?
You did mention Sean Dyche.
Sorry, not Sean Dyche. Oh goodness, because you're talking about Everton now. Sorry.
Vincent Company.
Sorry. My bad. Yeah, Vincent Company. But Vincent Company is a defender, so scratch what I just said. Yeah, I got myself mixed up there. But Vincent Company himself is a defender. But yeah, with Burnley there, that's going to be I don't know. But is anyone going to stay off City even though they're playing away against a defensive side? Probably
No,
not.
pretty much people are going to Captain Haaland right this match, and that's it.
So coming to the bloodbath, the second bloodbath you mentioned, which is Manchester United. I mean, what the hell is going on that you do a manager replacement just less than
Week
half
before
a
start
month?
season?
Yeah, it's insane. What is going on at the management there? So definitely, the stadium of dreams is going to be a stadium of nightmare for the Wolves if looking at it going. I just want to point out.
Captain Rashford instead.
So, didn't we have one situation there where we were constantly captaining Rashford over Haaland last season? But Newcastle versus Villa, that is going to be an interesting match. Probably not a good thing for the FPL ones, but because you got Unai Emery, and coming up at Newcastle going for Champions League, so it'll be interesting to see that one. But it does make it hard FPL wise.
Okay, right, has been already touched. Afos, what interests you in week 1? Which match that you're actually eyeing the potential big score, and that's where you target?
Yeah, first the three big games are the captain player Haaland, City games, and then the triple up Arsenal and also triple up Manchester United. So I think basically these three games are the ones to eye, and then to get things excited starting season for FPL. No? So when we see these high scoring games, and then especially the top FPL picks get a lots of points, so it gets people excited to start the season.
Okay, all right.
We want points.
So yeah. Brandon did mention Gary already confirmed. Okay. I
Oh,
think
thanks,
yeah.
Brandon.
Mm.
All right.
So
So we know
okay.
Gary previously was in charge of,
Bournemouth.
was it Bournemouth
Bournemouth.
before he?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he's back in. That was quick.
Mm. Okay. All right. We go to the next topic, which is Captain P. Okay. At least from 33 football scout pick, they really 65% voted Haaland. It's a big votes. Burnley versus Man City. Maybe we don't want to discuss, but Arsenal versus Forest, United versus Wolves at home. If you want to be different, but I'm not sure we are going to go there, right? I mean, what do you think? It is pretty much Haaland. That's it.
I do want to discuss this because simply because Afos pointed it out. Are we looking? Could Rashford be that? But it'll be very very challenging time for those who do that simply because um Haaland plays the first match, Rashford plays the last match. So imagine if Haaland ends up with
Oh,
a hat-trick, and then you have to wait for for the whole weekend to finish before
Monday,
you see.
Monday night match.
Yeah,
For Manchester
yeah, it's
United.
the Monday night, so it'll be I give props to those who do that. It could very well be me if I'm feeling very
Okay. All right, fair.
we'll
Afos,
see.
it's pretty much Haaland, right?
Yeah, pretty much Haaland. Having 86% of ownership, I don't think I dare to risk other than Haaland.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay.
starting of season, we know what he's capable of. So yeah, starting of
All
season,
right.
Haaland.
Okay, fair. Before we go to our team, we just want to take a look. We ponder on the fixture ticker. Okay, the first 6 matches, of which Arsenal and Man City are on top. Okay, Arsenal having really the first 6 matches, but they are mixed there. Manchester United and Spurs, but they're playing at home, so they should be on advantage. Man City pretty much really decent. Uh, Promoter side, Sheffield United, Burnley. We have Fulham and Forest there, and West Ham still stabilizing from rise sales. Only Newcastle, but they're playing at home, and really Haaland still is capable in that match. The third one, Chelsea, after Liverpool match on the first game, which after that still really decent West Ham, Luton Town, Forest, Bournemouth, and Villa. And then after that, to the extent, Brentford and Brighton and Liverpool in the top 6. At the bottom, we have promoter side Luton, Burnley there because they will miss, they will blank in game week 2 because of Luton Town still not ready in terms of their stadium, right? Okay,
Stadium.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure whether they should be ready on time, but if that's not the case, then Luton Town match against West Ham could be potentially not play. I don't know. That could be a potential, right? If let's say they still delay in terms of their preparation. Forest match, Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City in the first 6. I think Forest is still a no-go. Whether although people suggested if let's say Turner could be an Sheffield United and Burnley at home in game week 2 and 5 could be something to think of. So, Azmin, fixture ticker, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea dominating.
It's a tough one. I think I just want to point out that it's interesting that the fantasy football hub fixture ticker has Chelsea at the top,
Oh,
followed
okay.
by
Right.
Brighton, Arsenal, Brentford, and then Manchester City. But yeah, but it's still the top 5 are the same. It's just moving around the edges. But yeah, Arsenal at the top. There you go. So you got Forest, Crystal Palace, Fulham, followed then Manchester United. I'll give you tricky. Then Everton and Spurs, who we're not sure. I'm not sure what they are, but it definitely is a good platform for Arsenal to get off to a great start. And Manchester City, aside from that very interesting Newcastle pick, it's pretty much Burnley, Sheffield United, Fulham, West Ham, and Forest. That's crazy, and that's why people are trying to risk having another Manchester City attacker, even despite the risk that's involved there. But it's definitely a lot of potential. Chelsea are at the top, but how confident are we with that squad? We're not sure, but what's making us confident is, of course, Pochettino. So
Yeah.
you know, we just have to jump in and hope for the best and see what happens. Brighton, Brentford, Brentford. That's just a quick one on Brentford. Yeah, so I think Mbeumo is going to be fit. So we're not really considering any much with other people other than Mbeumo. I think there are some with Wisa, but not much else there. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Afos, fixture ticker, what interests you? Is it really concrete in terms of decision making? Arsenal and Man City a priority?
Yeah, I think the ranking pretty much straightforward in terms of how we establish our team, who to double up, triple up. Especially, yeah, we're looking at Arsenal, Manchester City. These two teams performed greatly last season, and then starting season with really nice fixture. So I think it's a good start to triple up these two teams, and then yeah, surprisingly Chelsea. Yeah, like as we said, we have confidence in Pochettino, but the whole squad doesn't seem. I don't know. At least for me, I don't have that confidence
Okay.
yet. Pretty much looking a bit unstable. So yeah, Brentford. The only pick is Bilmo because solely because he's the penalty taker. I think he's the penalty taker, right? After Ivan Toney, since Ivan Toney is out.
Yep. Bomo. Yep.
Yeah. And then Brighton, the one to go starting season against Luton. I think most people are excited this game.
Yeah.
Hope,
I think we should take
hoping.
advantage against Luton. People expect high scoring
Yep.
game. I can still remember
Yes,
Leeds United coming the first game, and then against Liverpool, right? It's like 4-3
Mm.
potentially scoreline. This could be another one like that. Yeah, we just
Yeah, exactly. Which is why some managers opt to triple up Brighton starting of the season, having
I
Mitoma,
think that is,
Estepinian, and
I
Joe
think
Pedro.
triple up Brighton is when FPL starts open up, people are triple up. But now people are not doing that. Maybe picking one or two players, or maybe even one from Brighton sides because they afraid the 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 top is actually after 3 games, Brighton, Luton, Wolves, West Ham. After that, Newcastle, Manchester. There's some tough fixture coming up. So means that we are targeting only the first 3 games. So that's why people think we should not overload. But I don't know. If you feel that triple up a Brighton play is the way to go, I think we should take advantage if we feel that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to point quickly out of Brighton. So obviously you got Luton Town who as the promoted side, then followed by Wolves, who will probably be still trying to stabilize and figure that out. So it'll also be a potential.
Yeah. I think I like that fixture. I just want to touch a bit to Afos Manchester United because people are picking up tripling up Manchester United asset. They do have Spurs and Arsenal in the first 6. I just want to ask Afos, is tripling up too much considering tough fixture somewhere there? What do you think?
I think we just run over this tough fixture with Manchester United asset. We know that the potential that the team can do in games. I think even with against Spurs and Arsenal, we just run through these two fixtures starting of the season. No problem.
Okay. All right. Cool. So confident from Afos. All right. I think we jump now to your team first, Afos. Okay. Pretty much because your posted your recent team in Twitter. Okay. Most definitely, and I think this so-called what people are going to feel like it's like something like template that people are going for. Afos, if you can read out your team.
Okay. Basic uh, the basic understanding to establish team, I think, is to go with the most high ownership first in terms of establishing team. So I pick in terms of Onana as a keeper, Estupinan, Saka, and Haaland are the ones in this 4 position with most ownership. And then we're looking at the of course, we have already have goalkeeper. Then we try to get the bench keeper as cheap as possible. Maybe not playing non-playing keeper. If we get a playing keeper of 4.0, I think there's an advantage. But at the same time, if that keeper is not performing well in the long run, there's a chance of um, price price fall. Maybe after 4 or 5 weeks, I think there's a risk. Maybe try to get a low ownership in terms of bench keeper, because we know that Onana is not going to sub or be replaced by any other keeper. Try to have the nail and the only safe pick keeper of the team. And then coming to defenders, we have Gabriel is among the top 5 most picked defenders after Estupinan. And then Chilwell, yeah, most people opt to go for Stones from City. I think
Stones,
that's
okay.
that's
Right.
one of the safest pick. But I think in this argument, it's just matter of which one you want. It's either you want the safest pick or you want the high ceiling in terms of getting most point. I think Chilwell plays much more forward, plays much more attacking, so he has more chance to get that explosive points, in the long run. Then we move to midfield. Saka is no brainer. Saka, Rashford, and Bruno Fernandes, the three most picked top 5 for midfielders. Solely because Saka and Bruno Fernandes is on penalty duties, and we know Rashford have great potential. Is the man to go, the talisman for Manchester United, to score goals and maybe to provide even assists. And then same thing for Martinelli. We know that now that Jesus is out injured, we know that Martinelli can step up to contribute in terms of attacking for Arsenal. And then for the fifth midfielders, I opt for Mbeumo just because Ivan Toney is out. He's the penalty taker for Brentford. It's a close call between Mbeumo and Mitoma. I might change to Mitoma just because Brighton against Luton in the first game week, But we'll see how things goes. Whether or not I want to attack for the first few game weeks, or I want to plan a little bit longer term.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So for forward, straightforward, Haaland and Watkins. Watkins is the second most picked. But for this matter is that Watkins solely because to reserve that price point for is either Jesus or Nkunku when they come back and fit to play again. At 8.0. At the same time, he's on penalty duties. He'll be playing full game, and also we know that his potential to score goals. So yeah, we'll see how things go. If he still continue to perform, then maybe he'll stick in the team longer. And then for bench, the price point pretty much set. Goalkeeper 4.0, maybe change to Matt Turner or Areola, depending how long I want to keep them. 2 defenders at 4.0. We know that Bayer can contribute attacking points. Baldock at the moment he starts just because what's the guy's name injured. I think at the moment he's starting, and the third forward is McTee 4.5. I think is easily replaceable with Archer or Mukawa or those.
Mbawa, is it? Okay.
Mbawa, yeah.
Okay. Right. Pretty much I really like your team. You have 0.5 million in the bank some more to save just in case let's say moving forward. Is there any price increase you can still get the players with these savings? Pretty much template. Triple up Manchester United, tick. Triple up Arsenal, tick. But only one Man City players. Okay, Haaland, Estupinan as the representative from Brighton. How confident you are this could be your team coming to game week 1? Is it like 90%? Confirm?
In term, 90%. It's just a matter of whether Memo or Mitoma or Chilwell or Stones. I think the
Okay,
rest pretty
alright.
much straightforward. Yeah. And then of course bench goalkeeper, maybe I stick to Messi or I choose to Matt Turner,
Yeah,
Arela,
okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Min?
Yeah, so I just want to point out, so something that's annoying me right now looking at that team is that obviously you don't have any Liverpool player in there. Things. So I would think you would have one. You would have Salah, but because you chose not to go Salah, and you really took the extreme. In what I was saying earlier is that you're not confident with any other Liverpool player, then no Liverpool player at all. So
Yeah.
so
to
yeah.
be honest, that in terms of Liverpool player other than Salah, if Jota is secured to nail starting season, I would prefer Jota, over Martinelli.
I
Okay.
see. Okay.
Just because his minutes is quite uncertain. I'm not sure on who's the first 11 or maybe the front three between Gakpo, Jota, Luis Diaz, Nunes. So
Yeah.
I think a bit risky. Minutes between Jota and Martinelli, I'll pick Martinelli at the moment. But I like Jota, to be honest.
I don't honestly, I don't blame you at all. So this is the uncertainty that I was talking about, and it makes me just not confident there. So yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm annoyed, but fair enough.
And then also Liverpool has what called the new guy, supposed like. I think he's attacking also, right?
Yeah. So just a quick one. Just a quick one. Abuslai is the fact that which is also hurting TA's potential because he seems to be on quite a few of the set pieces and he's doing well with those set pieces as well. So
Yeah.
So that's where the challenge is.
All right. Okay. Fair. We already touched on our first team. Pretty much template. I could actually be my team like you. This should be the one that people are eyeing. Okay. Just one question. Chilwell, how about Shaw? Okay, if let's say you have option on Onana Shaw, you don't pick Onana, you pick other 4.5 million keeper. Is Shaw something that we still remember the last season Shaw, the bonus point magnet, taking set pieces. Shaw over Chilwell or is Chilwell all the way?
Yeah, I think in terms of getting most points compared Shaw to Chilwell, I think Chilwell has a higher ceiling than Shaw.
Okay,
I think so. I would think so. Yeah.
Right. Manchester United versus Wolves, clean sheet, 1 assist from Shaw. Liverpool lawan Chelsea, 30 concede, nothing from Chilwell. A different conversation next week if that's happened. Okay. All right. So I think we go to Azmin team. Okay, definitely we shall see how you're gonna line up, and I'm expecting some Liverpool players inside your team, right? So we shall see.
All right. So I got 1.0 million in the bank, so we'll start with that. So at the back, at the moment, I've chosen Steele from Brighton. So basically I've got a double up in terms of actually Brighton I've got triple. So so you've got Steele at the back against Luton, Estupian, which is standard. So Liverpool I've gone for a TAA, so I went for it. The potential is there, although the problem of course is that he's expensive, but never mind. Not a fuss, but I do strongly believe there may be a bit of bias here. And the thing is, we know that those who haven't gone for Salah tend to go for TA, but we've slowly seen that slowly reduce as we get closer, simply because of I still can't pronounce his name, the midfielder guy, Dubotia something. Anyway, Chilwell makes the squad because, obviously in defensively, if TA goes into the number 6 position, Chilwell's going to have so much more space there. And Gomez, who deputizes for that right back spot, is not, it's not going to be able to fight Chilwell at his best. So it's definitely going to be openings there, which means that I'm pretty much going for a 3 fullback attacking lineup with not so much worry in terms of the clean sheet. Yeah, clean sheets seem to be going out the index. Of course, Estupian and Steel, we could hopefully hold clean sheets there. Buemo meets the grade. I think he'll be fit, no issues there. Playing back in a FPL midfielder designated role, which is always good. I have gone for, okay, so here's the question. I've gone for 3 Arsenal players, Martinelli, Saka, as well as White. But of course, I'm still trying to juggle in terms of who gets the bench. So it could be between him or Joao Pedro if I'm not so keen. So we'll see what happens there. So I've got,
Pedro against Leighton.
yeah, but again, I'm getting,
bloodbath and Pedro suddenly a hat trick, you know.
yeah, I know, but you know, is Pedro the real deal? We don't know yet. You know, sure we do remember he did play for Watford, you know, and he wasn't exactly stellar either, and he just has got a few penalties in pre-season. But yeah,
Yeah.
So let me put you on the spot. Afas, Watford, Watford, blah. Or Pedro or White, who would have more potential to score points? Playing Forest, by the way. I'm sorry, I just.
I know. But in my perspective, I hardly want to bench forward, you know, especially playing forward.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. So
Fair.
okay. So
So in,
thanks.
in terms of your team, in terms of benching dilemma, minus attacking potential from TA, fixture wise, I think White goes over TA. You know?
Okay. Something for me. So TA save him for the second week where the fixtures are much get much better.
Yes.
Home
Yeah.
to Bournemouth.
Thank you. I will definitely consider that. So Bruno Fernandes, I've gone my initial draft that I sent Hafiz didn't even have a Manchester United, but now it does, and you know that Wolves things is Wolves problem is looking more and more thirsty at the moment. So I have gone for Haaland as the captain and Pedro. So I'm having doubts. I'll be honest. So the question is, but of course, I know that last season I went with Haaland and without Haaland and got crucified. So this time I do have Haaland, but we don't know. I captain him. I don't know. So okay. I'm not.
No, interesting.
So on the bench, I have Leno, White, Cowboy, and as Archer, who I don't expect. So no surprises there really. It's just that benching dilemma for the final spot.
All right, you have 1 million in the bank, which is nice, that you can actually move to anyone if they say, find out like, say, I don't know, Son coming into conversation, then you can upgrade, I don't know, Bruno, Saka, or even Martinelli, okay, to 9 million. Not very much managers are putting Steel into ticking, which is good that you brought that, because Iskandar Bakri did mention, what do you think about Steel keeper? I like Azmi because he always in the early season can spot the best 4.5 keeper, like last year Henderson. Still could be the one this season. What do you think, Mick?
I don't know. It's hard. I admit I'm looking at Onana and thinking, should I spend the extra because it's just that Eric Ten Hag is giving me confidence that defense is going to get a lot better. Yeah, I'm not going to need it. And Brighton, but the appeal of Brighton is that if they continue in the same style, that means they're very much an attacking side, and Steele's going to get a lot of saves as well. Yeah, so which Onana may not get as many. Yeah, so I don't know.
We'll see. At this juncture with this team, how confident you are in terms of this team? Is it 80%, 90%, or you still work in progress?
Okay, first is that benching dilemma that was pointed out. That Afos has already given me another possible option there. Benching a 8.0 defender, which sounds absurd.
It's just because of his price tag 8.0, right? You have, I think most people, even myself, I hardly want to bench really high price tag player. But in terms of fixture, so I don't personally, I don't have that confidence in terms of Liverpool's defense yet. I know
Yeah.
AA can provide lots of attacking returns, but
Mm.
risking that attacking returns, maybe White is the better position to get clean sheet, or maybe a bit attacking points. Something to consider.
Thanks, Alpha. So I guess okay. Now looking at this lineup, I'm probably about, aside from the benching dilemma, maybe one position I might be one or two positions I might be tempted to change depending on team news.
Okay.
But I would say
Alright.
aside from the benching dilemma, I'm almost pretty much set.
Okay. All right.
And the
Fair.
and mainly just to emphasize, mainly I'm confident that all these players will make their starting lineup, and that's the
Right.
policy I've gone for.
Yep. I like that Eze pick is going to be a talisman
Yep.
for Crystal Palace. Zaha is not
Yep.
longer around, and he should be on penalty kick, right? So yeah, it's good. Everything is good. So I go to my team. Pretty much we are already in conversation. Like Alpha is actually most likely the template of Game Week 1 team. Okay, Azmin did mention that he actually has some TAA, but my team I'm drafting because I'm still unsure about Mo Salah. Am I going Mo Salah road or not? Because Mo Salah, if let's say we get him in, it could be a potential captain in Game Week 2 for sure into conversation, because home at Bournemouth, as we know, that could be really high potential there. Okay, so my team revolving around Salah. So I just show, okay. In terms of goalkeeper, I read out first. I have Pickford and Areola combo. Areola, no question, but Pickford 4.5 million, and Everton has really decent fixture at least for the first 8, and well 4.5. Everton, we believe in Sean Dyche. He's really make sure his team really set up today. And if let's say, if anything, Pickford will be among in terms of save point, right? And in terms of Everton, we don't expect they are going to score big points, and we expect the likes of Pickford, if they say making save, clean sheet, the bonus point surely Pickford will going to get. In terms of defense, Estepona, Gabriel, and Chilwell, the standard one that people are going to pick. Okay, Chilwell still low in terms of ownership, right? It's not there. It's still 11%, 12%, still low. Shaw, Trippier is more the one that people are looking at. It could easily be Shaw there, but Chilwell is the trending right now. In terms of midfield, Rashford and Saka, people are going to pick there. Mbomo, like you mentioned, talisman for Brentford. I have Salah there. It could be option. I have 2 premium there. And Foden, 7.5 million. It could be other player. But if let's say I want to double up with Man City asset, if you want to take advantage, Foden, maybe Grealish, Bernardo Silva, if let's say open up. Or yeah, I don't want to go to that road, I still only have 2 Arsenal player there. So I could actually fit in a Trossard, a Havertz there if I want to be. So 7.5 million there. Haaland and João Pedro, like you mentioned, Azmin, 5.5 million. Brighton have 3 decent fixture, Luton, Wolf, right? So what else you can get better than that? So this side, this team with Salah, potentially you captain in Game Week 2, I think looks decent. Yes, maybe only Rashford there, Manchester United asset, but we for sure, if let's say we want to pick only one Manchester United player, Rashford is the one that people should go instead of Bruno. I heard, I think is it in FPL Wire, they do some analysis. Rashford will be among in terms of score goals and potentially SGI. Okay, Rashford should be up there in terms of Manchester United. Bench really pretty much 4 million defenders. Obama 4.5 million, it could be anyone. And this is really tight. There's no money in the bank. So, Afos, what do you think? If let's say people want to consider Mo Salah team, could be this a decent team to have?
Yeah, I think having Allen and Salah in the team, this lineup is pretty much, I think, one of the best lineup, because we able to slot in João Pedro at 5.5, and also we know that
That is
he's
the enabler
maybe
of Salah team.
that's the enabler for Muslim. other than that, I think pretty much, pretty much good. If you're maybe at Foden position, if you're not comfortable, some people opt to go for James Madison. No?
Okay.
I think
Yeah, the option
pretty
is
much
good.
set. Yeah. Money is tight too.
Yeah. So if let's say I want to move to other assets, Salah is the one dah. Is the uh who need to make a way for the money. Azmin, Salah team, you like it?
Well, I'm glad you spent a lot. You have more confidence in that than myself. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, if you are going to invest, it does look like Salah's going to be the one. I mentioned earlier that even though only 2 goals but 7 assists, total FPL points is still higher than the other two contenders.
Yep.
I just want to point out that just now, because coming back to that stats that you have where Darwin was actually at 17%, which is quite high.
Yeah, third own in terms of forward after Watkins and Hadi.
Yes, because I'm
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm having my doubts as to whether all that was really a warm up for him to start, and or more like Klopp giving him more chances to prove himself. I don't know. I'm impressed by your confidence with Foden, so I'll leave it at that. I don't know, but yeah, because I just not that confident with City
I
players.
understand. We still unsure, but that 7.5 million price point, like I first mentioned, I can actually go lower 6.5 AZ and so and save some money. That could be
In the lead, so in the lead up to this, streaming, I was reading quite a bit on Pickford, and I'm also buying into it, which makes it even
I
harder.
think so.
Yeah, I do like the arguments. The argument makes solid sense. It is Sondheim. We've known him from his Burnley days and how he can really strength.
Yeah,
And now
I think I read that also.
the proper preseason, and I feel that it's gonna be hard. So so maybe that keeper option is something I might end up swerving towards the end. We'll see. And follow in your footsteps. Other than that, I think your team is pretty much set. You got the Estupian there. You've got Saka inside Gabriel, but you've only gone for 2 Arsenal. I think of course you have 3 Arsenal as well, right?
Martinelli
Yep.
there.
And 3 Arsenal.
Yeah. So Hafiz has gone for 2, and yours is a bit more risk spread than ours, Hafiz, because I even have 3 Brighton as it stands and 3 Arsenal. You've spread out a bit more. So which is more stable, I guess. Yeah. Not eggs
Right.
in one basket.
But deadline is still around the corner. Anything can happen. When we hear about the team news, I could easily change to like a first team and go template. Yep. I still unsure to be fair. If you ask me whether you're really going for Mo Salah, I still uncertain. But at least I'm preparing draft. If they say I want to go for Salah, I have a team to go. Okay. All right. I think pretty much we already covered our team draft. We go to some question at least, right? Okay, we already 1.5 hours going live, right? Okay, we take some question. Let's go. Anything you to point out? You just mentioned. I think the pretty much
Okay.
right in conversation. If they say other option, Mitoma, Mbomo, Afos prefer Mbomo over Mitoma. Yes, Afos, you did mention that.
At the moment, because if we're looking at slightly longer term, I think Bomo is the better pick. But unless you want to really attack the first 2 game weeks, maybe Mitoma is the one to go.
All right, fair. Next question, quick one. Eze or Derby? You have Eze in your team, right?
Yeah, I do. I just think that Eze is going to be the powerhouse for Palace, and he's with Zaha, as you mentioned, with Zaha leaving. Yeah, I definitely go for Eze. Or Diaby is still unconfirmed potential at the moment. Yeah.
All right, fair. Next question. If you have to pick one of these players, Trossard or Havertz, as your third Arsenal player, if they say, which one would you go first, Afos?
I think I'll go with Trossard.
I go for Trossard
Just,
as well.
yeah. At the moment,
I
he
just feel
seems,
that
he seems
Trossard
like
is
he
more
wanted to
proven.
prove. Yeah, he wanted to prove he's capable, much more capable. He deserves a starting spot. Yeah, I think he's want to go.
All right. Next question for Azmin, Gabriel or Stones. So it's tough one, is it?
Gabriel.
Okay. All right. Fair. I think
Yeah.
the next question. Yeah. People. I think this question I already asked, especially to Afos, Chilwell or Shaw. You favor Chilwell. I think Azmin also favor Chilwell. Is Shaw something that we overlook?
Uh, Maybe just because that most people going the third spot for Manchester United is Onana, having keeper, and at the forward most people having Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. So it's hard to, unless most people wanted to opt keeper at 4.5, then maybe Shaw is the one to
Okay.
go.
Also, Shaw has to share his free kicks with Fernandez. So, Fernandez is definitely up there. So he's fighting. So it reduces. I think Chilwell will get a bulk of the free kicks for Chelsea.
All right. Next question for Azmin. Talking about Pickford, John Stones. Could be an option at Crystal Palace, 4.5 million, right? Sam Johnston. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, at the moment, still Pickford at the moment. The hype is still Pickford. So I probably go for Pickford.
All right. If budget is not an issue, Force, Pedro, Jackson, or Watkins? Partnering Haaland, I suppose this question.
If budget is not an issue, either one. Maybe Jackson.
Okay. Watkins, all right. Azmin in favor of Watkins. Okay, fair. 90 minutes when confirmed. Talisman for Aston Villa. Good question. Also, next one did mention. Asfar also did mention. Azmin, on for them we are uncertain. Medicine could be an option. 7.5 million Spurs.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Spurs much, but I think Madison would be definitely a tremendous, if he can maintain he probably has to share a bit of free kicks with Pedro Pero if he starts, but I think Madison could really be a feeder for Harry Kane.
All right, fair. Go to Afos. Could we haven't really talked about Kane, okay? Because maybe he's rumored to leave Spurs, but he looks unlikely right now, right? Because like a few days more, he wants to set up with Spurs under the new manager Postecoglou. Salah or Kane, if they say people want to consider Afos.
I think at the moment I still go with Salah.
Okay.
Hafiz, can I point a question on Brandon Ong's question to the stream? What do you think of Stones? Will you be picking any City defense goalkeeper? So at the moment, do any of us have Stones?
No,
I don't have.
Yeah, so we've gone off. I had Stones in my initial draft, but we've gone off. And I did, and I think and Edison is in the top keeper picks, which shows how people are just going for the security of starts there. So I think it's a challenge with City again, all over again. So I will definitely just keep not to pick any, because I don't want to spend so much on Edison. So I'm off City defenders.
All right. Okay, pretty much we already answer question. Unless anything else, Azmin, that you feel that we should take up.
Okay, here's a question. Okay, there's a question from Raka FPL. Anthony nailed in United's right wing. What do you think?
Oh, this one. Okay. I think so. Afos, pretty much in terms of precision, he's actually high on in terms of minutes. For sure, Anthony will going to start this game given.
Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah, based on his preseason performance, and I think he deserved that right wing position.
Okay, all right. But how much confident are we fielding him as the Manchester United is another story. Yeah.
I just want to point out the last. If you go scroll towards the end, there was a comment. I'm going with Arsenal MU mid ignoring Haaland. I'm assuming he means the captaincy. So
Okay, right.
if you do that, Brandon, keep in touch, and I'll be looking forward to seeing that. And finally, the last one. This might be news from you, Hafiz. The last one. Reece James has been appointed the new Chelsea captain.
Oh, is it? I also didn't realize because I thought it's still open and maybe Thiago Silva gonna get it, but if it's a racism, then it's really a bold decision by Pochettino.
He'll be captaining half the time from the medical room, so I don't know.
That's why I don't know whether Pochettino take it into consideration that one, but yeah. Well, if Pochettino feels that racism has the respect and command from in the dressing room, then yeah, okay. All right. I think that's the decision. All right, guys. Thank you all for the question. Thank you all for joining this stream. Whoever thought we're gonna stream like 1 hour and
Oh my
48
God.
minutes. What we are mumbling on this year, I don't know. We hope we have been helpful to you guys in terms of preparation game week 1. Inshallah, we see you again in our deadline stream on Friday night. At least Azmin, right?
Yeah,
Inshallah.
stay calm, everyone. Let's party and have a good one. See you on Friday night.
Okay, all right. I think last word from Afos first.
Yeah, just remember deadline is Friday night, and make sure your team all set and have a great season.
Okay, all right. Azmin, your last word.
Yeah, Friday night, FPL start. The next
Yeah.
day, elections, and elections are elections. But I think they did it nicely so that the deadline isn't on the Saturday afternoon when you get distracted by the elections. So set your team Friday night, settle. Tomorrow got another story. Done and dusted.
All right. Okay. I just want to share with you guys. If let's say you're interested to join our FPL Jedi League, the code is down here. Okay, and hopefully we can see you guys again in the next stream, inshallah. So until then, take care. May the force be with you. Bye bye.
Always.
Take care.